A quick background while we're waiting for some more people to join. But this is the Farm to Farmer podcast. It was a Farm to Farmer conversation, and it's still a conversation, but no, we're bigging up ourselves and turning it into a podcast. So we're excited to bring a lot of different information to you. What we're going to be doing is a series, especially we started back. We had a conference called Farming as a Business. And at that conference, we had over 13, 14 different speakers. And this is showing how people are ungrateful. After me bring all the people, all kind of people to the event, not just me alone, but the team, I just got beat up. Everybody was complaining that them never get to go to this and they never get to go to that and all kind of something. So I said, it's about choices, right? The world's about choices. So if there was something that really piqued your interest, you could go to that. And, next year, hopefully we could have those people back and other people. And then, so it's a nice little variety. It's a little smorgasbord of all kinds of information. And you'll be able to kind of pick and select what you really are interested in. And, the people that beat me up. So what I decided to do was to say, all right, all of you that miss people and you didn't get to go into that particular classroom or that particular within auditorium or in the classrooms, I'm bringing you back live. And so this is what we're doing. So I know that Myles and Keosha, you had a issue with the technical thing and you didn't get a chance to present. So I'm really excited because I get a chance to not be running around the conference and get a chance to really see your presentation because I didn't get a chance to and it didn't happen. So for all of you that were able to show up at the Farming as a Business and didn't get to get everybody, in the next couple of weeks, we're going to be bringing everybody back. And so that you get a chance to not just, you actually have more time with them and you can ask more direct questions than the short amount of time that we were able to give them in the room. And so this is what this is going to be doing. We're going to be doing that work. So we had 4:07 and I feel like we should get going because we know we have a lot to have a conversation about. Some housekeeping matters. I know that most of us have been doing this Zoom thing for a while. I do ask, this format's a little bit different because Myles and Keosha wants to have more of a conversation versus a present. They're going to present some things, but they're going to want us to ask them some questions and stuff. So we're going to ask you, still raise your hand, and then we'll invite you to unmute, and we'll do it that way. And people, your background, the dog barking, people in the bar. We're hearing the sounds in the bar on the road. So we want you to mute yourself so that we can actually hear what's going on with the presenters. And with other housekeeping, we really want good conversation, good questions. And also, if something is burning and you can't get to it and you don't want to forget it, use a chat. Type it in the chat, and then we'll be able to circle back around to it. So that's just the housekeeping matters. And then as we go into it, we'll talk about other activities that's going on before we leave. And this is also opportunity. If you're on, you can just share to somebody else, friend, family, and say, that what happened? There's this great conversation on. Join us now, it's live, and share it with somebody else so we can get more people to know what we're doing and spread the love in that way. Okay? So again, my name is Nicola Shirley-Phillips. I wear many hats. I'm one of the directors of the Source Farm Community Development Institute in St. Thomas, the Organic Research Station, one of the members of the Ujima Naturals Farmers Market, and head of project for the Genesis Project for Joan, and a bunch of other stuff. I'm not even going to go into it. But we're in many. See, today I even have a hat on, right? Many hats I'm wearing. But yes, this is the work that we're doing. And I'm going to really dive into the conversation. So on the screen, you will see, and I'm asking them to wave their hand. Myles, wave your hand so people know it's you we're talking about. Hello. You are also here, lovely face, lovely person, just a lovely couple. And we're gonna start out by really talking about your origin story, and even for me, about how we met. And the interactions that we've had, and then we can kind of get into, I want to know, where you're from, what are the things that you're doing, and then we're going to open up for the presentation so you can share some of the work that you're doing. Myles, I'm going to say actually ladies first. So, so you want to tell me a little bit about who you are and how did you get into this, really nature-based work that you're doing? And then we'll ask Myles to jump in.
Okay. So you want me to go first?
Yeah, man, I want you to go first, man. Ladies before.
Perfect. So my name is Keosha, and my background by trade is nursing for 13 years. But I jumped into farming after I just pretty much was like over the nursing field. And I just started farming because I pretty much wanted to move out to the country. And I pretty much said, if I'm going to move to the country, I will be farming. And so now I'm a plant-based educator. I'm a homeschool mom, and I make a lot of natural remedies and products such as that. I do irrigation specialist and agriculture.
Okay. All right,
Oh,
Myles. Wait, before you jump over. So what state were you born in and where are you now? I want to get
yeah, so I was born here in Arizona, and I've lived here all my life.
okay. Myles?
Yeah. Yeah, my name is Myles. I'm not originally from Arizona. I'm originally from Maryland. I pretty much grew up in Arizona though. Been here for about 20 years. I'm 30 now. And the origin story, um, I believe it would begin in Maryland. When I was little, we lived right next to a woods, and I was always in the woods playing in the stream. I couldn't go too far because I was young. My parents didn't want me going too far, but I would be able to go just a ways into the woods. And there was a stream there, and I would always be playing in that, catching salamanders, playing with toads. Um, yeah, if you hear a baby in the background, everything is okay. We're in a communal workspace. So there's someone on the roof too, fixing the roof. But yeah, just that's what's happening.
It's good to have babies in the room. It's good.
Yeah. But yeah, and how I got into the work was I did a farm stay in 2021. I did an internship, and it's this sustainable farm, and there's a place called the Superstition Master in Arizona. And the person that runs it has been up there for 40 years, and he studies herbology, um, regenerative agriculture, and many other things. And I just learned so much, and that really kickstarted who I am today and my interests.
So there's some people that are probably on the call that don't know what a farm stay is. So explain to
Oh,
them what it is. Yeah.
sure. So it begins with the host of the farm. So in this case, his name is Peter, and he was accepting people to be an apprentice or undergo an internship with him, um, and pretty much teach us everything that he knows for the exchange of just doing the work. So there was a lot of work that needed to be done, and he would show us how to do it and then give us his trust to accomplish things. So like one of my goals or jobs was to maintain the garden. And that's really where I got the knack for agriculture. Yeah, and then herbology too. Making tinctures, making salves was a big part of how he makes income. So I dove deep into that as well.
So I'm just touching around with this thing. So he made a lot of tinctures and you all helped him do that work. And then he was selling these products at farmers market. What was he doing with the products? How was he?
A lot of his clients are online. He has been at farmers markets. Also, people that come by the farm every now and then. Oh, and then also farm and stay. The stay part is I was there pretty much full time, 24 hours for 4 months.
Okay. All right. So really getting a chance to have an immersion in the work to really see what it's like. That's something I really encourage a lot of people to do. is to really connect, because people want to, maybe we're getting to the farming part a little bit later in life, and or even at any point in your life. And the whole thing about apprenticeship, that's what used to happen years and years ago. You didn't just, usually at the age of 14 or 13, they would send you off to become an apprentice to someone if you really want to learn a particular trade. And now they kind of shunt us into these schools and colleges where we're not necessarily getting that apprenticeship work. And so the practical skills, we kind of have to end up hopefully finding somebody that is willing to share their information, their years of knowledge. So it's nice that that opportunity is opening up. And I'd always encourage people in Jamaica to make that available as well for folks if you feel like you have something to share. Because I feel like they're learning, you're also learning things as well. So it's a really a good relationship to kind of be able to make that exchange, especially before you go, say you're starting a farm, right? I would say learn off of everybody else's mistake and not really learn just you doing, and then you spending a lot of money when you could have learned all those best practices from somebody. So you have been both of you actually have been doing some work, and I found that it was very interesting. And I'm bringing, I know it's a Jamaica-based space, actually a Caribbean-based space that we're working out of, but I would really like you to kind of talk about some of that work that you're doing, because sometimes, we have to see, we're global citizens and we see all this other stuff going on in the world, but, like to see how you are approaching things and what you guys are doing. So if I think you have slides and stuff that you want to show, you can start doing that, and let's dive into that conversation.
All right, we'll get right into it then.
And while they're setting up, I want everybody to send a WhatsApp to somebody else that we can share that we're here on this space at this time and get more people involved in what we're doing. Looks like something's coming up.
Right. There we go.
Great. So we pretty much already said, we're here thriving in Arizona's desert. And so this is, like I said, Myles and myself, Keosha.
And we want to know where you guys are from too. So please put that in the chat.
And I already told you all a little bit about myself, but I'll just reiterate. So like I said, I'm a nurse by trade for 13 years, a landscape design. I took a class with rainforest harvesting. I'm a homeschool mother, plant-based educator, and I also make handcrafted products such as different salves and lotions, body butters, and things to, pretty much keep your skin and your hair and things really nice and clean. So what's to have beautiful food being placed in your body if you're not protecting the largest organ of your body as well. So.
Yeah, a term that I call myself is a holistic sustainability strategist, because the way that my mind works is I look at things as a whole. I love knowing the inner workings of systems, and how can we make that sustainable? And I'm also a strategical person, so just applying a lot of different parts of my mind to the work that I do. That's how I got that name. So let's get into it. The Sonoran Desert, this is where we are. Phoenix is located in the Sonoran Desert, and here we have a map. And the Sonoran Desert part is the gold part. And if you can see, Phoenix is like right in the middle under Arizona, the word Arizona. So the Sonoran Desert is rich in ecological and cultural heritage. When people hear the term desert, they might not think that, but we have a lot of medicinal and edible plants here as well. One you can see, it's in the background, it's called the ironwood tree. And the flowers are edible, and the bean pods that it makes are also edible. And that's one of 4 edible legume trees that we have. And then over to the bottom left is called a saguaro cactus. And that's unique to our state. You won't find a saguaro anywhere else in the world.
I think we get a lot of when I was growing up, we got a lot of Western movies. And so we're kind of familiar with seeing those cactus. It's interesting that it's only grown there. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's cool when you leave the Sonoran Desert, like on a road trip, and then you come back, it's like they're waving to you, their arms up.
Yeah. So this right here is the fruit that grows on the saguaro cactus. And we were actually able to come out. We were asked to come out to a Native American tribe out here. And they invited us into their property, and they had us camp out. Some could camp out. And so that's what we did. And it was so beautiful because we went and we harvested the fruit off of the cactus, and we actually took the spines of a different cactus and we made a long pole to get to the very top of the cactus to pull the fruit down. And then we took it back indoors, and that's what it looks like open on the inside. And we pretty much cleaned it out, and then we ended up going outside and we made a syrup. And so they showed us how to make syrups and pretty much, the benefits of it. And it was just really beautiful to be a part of this.
And we're curious what some native plants are, and wherever you're at, wherever your location is, please let us know. Yeah, please just put in the chat what your native plant is called.
Because we do have some cacti and cactus.
So
So we will have to see what those are. People know the names of those.
Is dragon fruit a tropical cactus? People grow it here. It's not native.
I'm not sure if it's native, but I do see there have been more requests for people to start to grow it. And so there are a bunch of, I would say, dragon fruit enthusiasts that they kind of have a club and they get very into it, and they've been really wanting it to spread more. So we're seeing it popping up, but just small amounts of it. Like you have a friend and somebody might share with you, but nothing that we would see really too much in a store or on the side of the road, which is where a lot of our fruit gets sold. But it's definitely. What we do use, I'm not sure if that's even a cactus. Not a cactus, but we have what we call a tuna. People who are on the call, you can correct me because I'm not familiar with all of this. And but we use what we call tuna is kind of flat a lot here. We grow a lot of it actually here. And it's really great for back pain. If people in Jamaica tend to cut it up and put it in water. And if you're having back pains, it's really great for that. Obviously, if you have sunburn, it's good for that as well. So, and I think other people are raising. Kingsley is raising his hand. Kingsley, you have a comment? You can unmute, Kingsley. I know we always have a problem with the mute button. All right. Kings, I'm not sure why you're not unmuting. You can unmute. Yeah, well, okay. When you figure that out, then let us know. Go ahead, Myles.
Yeah, just about cactus. It's delicious. Like some people are reluctant to grow cactus just because of the spine, but there's spineless varieties of delicious fruiting cactus. Peruvian apple cactus is amazing. We have another one here called prickly pear. There's a whole festival about prickly pear that they do here. But so to continue, because of rising heat and the misuse of water, it's important that as a community we find ways to establish more sustainable and regenerative systems And that's what the bulk of this talk is about, or this presentation. So, but we're going to get into something that's not so sustainable, which is golf courses. We have over 200 golf courses in the greater Phoenix area. And these are it's just patches of grass. Some of them have lakes or ponds, sand patches, just right in the middle of the desert. And for these things to sustain themselves, the average water use per golf course is 450 gallons of water per day.
Whoa.
Times that by 200, you get 90 million gallons of water per day. So that's enough to fill 180 Olympic-sized swimming pools every day. So just think about how this water could be used for something else. It could be mini oases, canal systems, food forests.
Okay. So what are the people of Phoenix? What are we currently facing? So some of the things that we're currently facing here is food deserts. We're facing food insecurity. We're facing a lot of different rising heat. And so unsheltered population.
Or homeless, depletion of farmland.
Can you talk, before you go on, can you talk about food deserts? Because people throw the word around, and sometimes people here don't know that, don't know that term, but what is a food desert?
Yeah, so food desert, it's pretty much where in a location where the area is at, you don't have access within 3 miles to a grocery store, something healthy to eat. And so here in Arizona, we're going to get into it later on in our slides, but we're going to talk more about the blue zone areas and how we're really combating the food deserts here for that issue. You have anything to add about that?
No, that was good. That's pretty much it. There's just some photos down here. Unsheltered populations. The one on the right with this man who's sitting on, it looks like a cooler. That's what areas that have food deserts look like. It's typically in a lower income neighborhoods. And then in the middle, this would be depletion of farmland, and then also the rising heat. So there's a huge issue with just a lot of concrete and how much concrete and asphalt will hold heat and then release it at night. So the desert at night is supposed to drop around like 20 degrees, sometimes even more in temperature. But that doesn't happen with these big patches of concrete. So that's just like they build these cookie cutter houses. You see all those houses look the same, and they're destroying farmland in order to do that.
Does that look familiar, guys? We're getting a little bit of that in Jamaica. They're taking our good farmland and putting these cookie cutter houses on, and it's not being used for any agriculture. And that's where some of our water is as well. So that's interesting. That looks familiar.
Yeah, we were going to ask that. What was that?
Yeah. Oh, someone has a question?
Jody, you have a question? Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. So to the presenters, tell me, could you share, please? So in Jamaica, yes, we have persons moving to build houses on farmlands, and some of it is government supported, but our farmlands, for some of them, there is no access to water. In your case, Phoenix is a desert. So you already don't have any natural sources of water, correct? So is that as significant?
So yes, here I would say we do have access to some water here, but we have to be smart about the water that we do have. So later on this slide, we're going to show you all what we're doing and how we're routing water to make it more sustainable for the food that we are growing here within these food deserts in the blue zone areas. So we are being wise about the decisions that we're doing with the water that we do have currently here. So we'll get into that further into the slide.
Canal systems are really big. There's two major ones, which is one is called the Salt River Project, and another one is called the Central Arizona Project, I think. And one is the Colorado River, and then another one is the Salt River. And they're just the two main water sources, but thousands, hundreds, maybe years ago, there used to be little canal systems all over Phoenix, and this was done by the native community. So and some of these tribes have worked on getting their water systems or their canal systems back up. So that could be another solution for more parts of Phoenix too, getting water.
So let me just clarify. So they had indigenous people there. They would make these canals to bring water from wherever the main source is into the landscape so that they could then tap some off. Is that what it was? Or
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, that's exactly what it was. And in return, we also pretty much would have some of their water supply as well. So we do have some of their water supplies, but also some of their water supplies were cut off. And so they're asking for their water to be rerouted back to where their land is at.
Okay.
All right. Blue zone. So let me move. Got the chat open. Where did it go?
I'm seeing this slide that says blue zones. Blue zones.
Yeah, I had the little this window open. I couldn't see it, but I'm seeing it now. Okay. Blue zone. So these are areas in the world where people tend to live much longer, often past 100 years old. These communities share a lot of things in common, like physical activity, low stress, they're rich in social interaction. They have a local whole foods diet and a lower disease incident. So the term blue zone came from researchers marking these long living places with blue ink on a map during their studies. And some of the best known ones are in Okinawa, Japan, Sardinia in Italy, Nicoya Peninsula in Costa Rica, and Ikaria in Greece. So if we don't live in these blue zones, these places act as an example that we can learn from and implement their practices in our communities. So we want to ask if you have any blue zones wherever you are, or if there's just some that I didn't name here. If you would like to share any of those, please do. I'm trying to see the chat.
What we will do is we'll go over the chat questions. So maybe keep rolling and then
Okay.
Cool. Do that at the end.
Yeah.
We'll do. So right here, well, Mousy pretty much was talking about the blue zone. And so right here, you all see some food here on the table. And this is food that I actually made while I was doing a cooking demo class. So even though we have these healthy blue zones, a lot of people don't know what to do when they have the food that is being served to them. So I give education classes. Some of this stuff we grew ourselves, and some of this stuff I actually got from local farmers that were at the farmers market, and I put it on a demo. And I just kind of want to ask you all, do you all have any like cooking demo classes that you all do in your area? And if so, are you all looking to do something such as that?
Well, for us, I mean, I just want to speak for the Ujima. We have a farmers market that we do in Kingston once a week. And we've been doing more food demonstrations because a lot of times we get some unique ingredients, or some of the ingredients we've been using for years. It's nice to have our local chefs come in and show a different way of doing it. Or some of the things that we used to do, people have forgotten how to do it. So we've been having some of our home cooks come back and remind us about how to make some things. Because maybe your grandmother made it and you don't know how to make it. So we've been doing that as well. So we're doing more of that. But what I would like to see more of is more connections to that all over the island. And it doesn't really happen as much here as in the US. You see a lot more of that reconnecting people to food, because Jamaica, we still pretty much, a lot of people cook. We're seeing a trend to get more. We usually cook Sunday dinner. If nothing else, there's a whole Sunday dinner tradition and different meals during the week. And I'm seeing more and more people going to KFC on a Sunday or going to the food court. And that's not what's supposed to happen. We need to bring them back into actually making some more of their meals. But we still do a lot of cooking for ourselves. And I'm saying that, but it'd be interesting for people to put in the chat what do they feel about that question?
Yeah. Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah, we see a lot of younger people here that pretty much don't cook that often. And so I just really think that it's very important to bring cooking back into the home. Me growing up, my mom, she always had some type of food on the table, whether friends came over, you couldn't leave the house without eating something. So yeah, I think it's very important.
People don't know where food comes from here.
Mhm.
People think food comes from the store. So a lot of education is about just telling them about farming, and then helping people find the courage to grow their own food. And the responses are amazing. But yeah, really bringing people's connection back to the land through the food.
Yeah. And I want to say, because you all may be looking at these stuffed peppers, they're actually stuffed with pecan. So I made a pecan meat to put inside. I call it meat, but it's not meat. It's just pecans and rice, and I stuffed it inside the bell peppers and just put it in the oven. So that's pretty much what that is. It's not meat. Everything is plant-based.
Okay. It does look delicious.
It's amazing what you can do with pecan.
What was that?
I said it's delicious. So I wish there was a way for you to serve it up to us right now. But when you do come to visit, I'm sure I'm gonna
Yeah. I'm working on something.
Okay.
Okay, so let's talk about Healthy Roots Garden. Getting into the solution.
All right. So you want to talk about this? Yeah. So right here, this is a cohort that Myles and we were a part of. We actually was in this class. You see Myles over here on the top, and he's actually measuring the temperature of the soil. And so we have this lady here in the blue. This is a microgreen that is right behind her. And so they throw out their microgreens, the leftover microgreens that they don't need anymore after they harvest. And we take it, we put it back in the soil, and we build our compost. And you see me here watering, and then we're sitting here at the table and we're doing the landscape design. We also have the children out and helping us with the garden beds that we're making, a ground garden bed. And the irrigation here that Myles is actually cutting, that's irrigation that is being routed, and then we'll get into that, how we're routing the water.
Yeah. So we have a short video we're gonna play. There we go. Can you guys see this okay? I'd like to expand it full screen. There we go. Is everyone seeing it all right?
Yes, I think we're seeing it.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Went away again. Okay. So healthy root. You want to talk about it a little bit where it is?
Oh yeah, so Healthy Roots is at a abandoned school, which they turned it into a beautiful working space for people, but also we're turning that space that you all just seen into pretty much a food forest. We have fruit trees out there. We have a wheelchair accessibility area. We're going to have a kitchen area where we're going to be able to cook and do demo classes, a fire roasting pit where we'll be growing agave plants and different cactus, and a mesquite area.
There you go.
Can you all hear?
No, I'm not hearing anything right now.
Hello?
It's back. You were muted for a second.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Healthy Roots is owned by a nonprofit called the Orchard Community Learning Center. I just wanted to let you guys know because they're a great company. If you want to research them, we're going to put their link at the end. They're doing a lot of great things.
So I see two pictures. Is this the picture that you're beside where the schematics is? Is that the space before? How it was?
Yeah.
Yes.
I apologize. It kept going back, but we're going to explain that. We wanted to explain some of the features. So this right here is for the irrigation of Healthy Roots. So this supplies water to the orchard. And these boxes here, they hold the water. The water comes in from, I believe this one is from SRP or the Salt River Project. So this is them getting built, and there's 4 of these on the property.
And how many gallons do they hold?
Oh,
Well, that's a good question.
yeah. We have to come back to that. We don't know,
Okay,
but
all right.
it holds quite a bit in there. And there's 4 of them that fills up with water when the water does come.
And then it's pumped? There's a pumping system that brings it up and to the irrigation?
No, so it's all gravity and pressure control. So these fill up. This is filled all the way. It's about 3 feet, maybe about 3 feet tall. So it's full, and then when it's full, we open the gates. You can kind of see there are these metal things poking up. Those are the gates. We release those, and it leads to these PVC pipes that you can see coming up, the white pipe, and they're filling up these wells where the trees are planted. So the way this is dug is there's a mound. The tree is buried onto a mound, and then there's a well. And then on the other side of that is a berm to contain the water. So it's a 3-step process to really get the most out of the watering, which is essential here. And then over here is some corn, squash, and beans, and we call those the 3 sisters.
I see that Kingsley has his hand up for Kingsley, you can unmute.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna ask Dean to please mute. Dean, I'm asking you to mute. There's a lot of feedback coming from you.
I was asking about the water catchment you're showing. I know you can't tell us how many gallons, but do you have any ideas to the measurement of the space in terms of the width by height?
Well, it's a two.
Probably
Oh, of the space, you mean the
Yeah, the
For the
box.
catchment?
the box? Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be about
6 by 4.
5 to 6, yeah. By 4, yeah. 5 or 6 by 4.
5 to 6 by 4 deep?
Yes.
No,
Four-
length and width.
Length and width.
6 feet, 6 feet long, about
Mhm.
4 feet wide, and then the length
Mhm.
would be about 3 to 4 feet deep.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
You're
Mhm,
welcome.
of course, and there's 4 of those on the property, and that's enough to supply a 2-acre
Right,
property.
and they could generalizing.
So in this slide, you'll see these ditches here, and that's PVC that's in the ditch,
Mhm.
and you can see these posts sticking up, and that's where we're gonna put more tree wells for watering. Oops. Yeah, just as we were getting into it. I apologize. I keep thinking I can keep playing it by pressing space, but it just goes to the next one. Next slide. Okay, and we're back.
So this particular project, you're growing, um, the produce of it will go to where? You're making a food forest, I take it, because I'm starting to see some of the plants that are there.
So
Yeah.
the food actually stays in the community. So it stays in this local area here, because they want to have a grocery store there on the property as well. And also they do take it to, what's it called? Like pretty much,
So it's a co-op, a local
yeah,
co-op that'll come and pick up the food and take it to the stores. And that co-op is called Sun Produce.
And then just the seasonality of it, because I know that, I recently went to, it was Arizona, and I know that it does get cold, so, what is the season that you're dealing with there?
you said that it gets cold.
It got cold,
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's that on obviously the plants are used to that temperature range. But in terms of putting in this project, like what is, from what time of year to what time is that you'll be able to plant and harvest?
So we're planting year round. Even right now, they have a cohort going on right now. Even though it's hot outside, we don't stop. So we have our different like adapted plants to the season. So right now we're getting ready to do crop rotation and start with our leafy greens and all that. But we also, the trees, they stay outside. So that's pretty much, is that what you were asking?
Yeah, so you're planting, you're kind of going all year round with
Yes,
different.
we do grow year round. Mhm.
Yeah, and we pick trees that are pretty desert adapted. They're not natives. Pretty much all the fruit trees there, but some do really well when you give them what they require, which is minimum. So one really great tree is a mulberry tree. We can grow like 5 different types of mulberries here, and they do amazing. They'll take the heat like champs. They can survive without that much water. Another one is citrus. Our state has this term. It's like we're known as the 4 Cs. So it's copper, cattle, cotton, and citrus. Um, so citrus is a really good one. Another one is a plum. There's one called the Methi plum. That one does pretty well. What we go off of is something called chill hours. So if the plant is able to get a just certain amount of days where it gets under, I believe, 70 or 60 degrees, it will fruit. So yeah, that's pretty much what we go off of. And I think now our planting zone changed. It was a 9A. I believe we're at 10A now. So this right here is some footage of the trees getting packed up.
I'm just gonna give you just remind you, there's a time check, because they're giving me a time check. So normally, yes, you have maybe about 10 more minutes to go. So
Oh,
I want to open up for questions. So we try and do like an hour, maybe hour, 15 minutes or going into that, but just to give you a time check, because they're giving me my time check. So Miss Colleen, you had a question? You can unmute.
Yes, what citrus are you growing out there?
So we have lemon trees, Meyer lemons. We have orange trees. We have limes. We have grapefruit.
you can grow so many different types of citrus. Palmettos. There's one called Buddha hand. It's real funky looking. Yeah, citrus does really great.
So
Yeah, even our blood oranges.
maybe you can pause a second on this. I'm seeing the circles, and I'm seeing that particular. So I see them making like a pond and flooding that area for the tree that's up there. And then are you then planting additional crops around that, or in that space, of ground cover?
Yes, that is the hope. But in the meantime, we wanted the trees to get acclimated to the soil. So we build those berms so they can have the adequate amount of water when they come. So yes, that is the goal.
You can see over here with this woman with the blue shirt pushing the wheelbarrow, you can see a tree and then all the ground cover around there. And that's something we call purslane. And it looks like a succulent, kind of looks like noodles with leaves.
Yeah, we have purslane here. Great
Okay,
info.
cool.
Yes.
Yeah, it's great. All right, move on. Okay.
There is a question, he says, how do we handle food sourcing? Whoops, I kind of lost the question there. Let me see if I can get the question back. How do we handle food sourcing, gardening co-ops and external partnerships? Is one of the questions. Let me see if I can page down.
Yes, that's that's our question that we wanted to ask you all.
Okay. All right, so do you have more slides to show us so we can maybe
We do, we have a lot.
Well, I mean, you gotta get moving.
Let's do it, let's get moving. Okay,
Yeah.
so Healthy Roots. Another great place is called Spaces. We're not gonna watch this video, but I put a link at the end for Spaces of Opportunity. So you can learn more about that place. It's a big 18-acre community farm. It's awesome. They do farmers markets. You can see down here they're doing farmers markets. There's different nonprofits that go and buy rent space at Spaces. Nope. And then we have Grow Encanto. So Grow Encanto was we call it Encanto Eco Village. It was a sustainable, self-sufficient community where caretakers grew in harmony with nature. Our vision was to cultivate a safe place for growth, physical, mental, and spiritual. Also, just to learn, to teach, and to foster a cooperative environment where resources were shared among members. Encanto's goal was to serve as a model for eco-friendly living and community building, promoting sustainable practices and education on the benefit of communal living. These are some of our objectives. I'm not going to go through all of these right now. A lot of these I just said. One big one was to combat low-income housing. So, you know, with anything, investing as a community, you naturally spend less money. And then you get to pass this on for generations and generations to have ownership. So that was something really big with Encanto was to own it as a collective. Some of the historical significance is it was it's in this community called Phoenix Homestead Community, right outside of downtown. The place was established solely for white Christians during the Roosevelt administration. But since then, most of Encanto's community, there's 5 of us, and it was mainly Black people, Black and brown people living there. So that was a cool reprogramming that happened with Encanto. But it just shows that we can go in any community and revert back and be more inclusive.
Yeah.
And the threat of development. So something that it was facing and ultimately led to its downfall was the threat of development. And then hearing what you're saying, Nicola, about how these cookie cutter houses are also being built in Jamaica, this development is a real problem. Also, when you see single ownership, people coming from outside of the community and building or thinking that they know what's best, these are all problems that we saw as, if Encanto was allowed to thrive, was directly combating this issue and keeping the integrity of how we're really supposed to live.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is just a gathering. We would have gatherings like this frequently, where we're here listening to our friend who brought her family. She brought her father here, and he's sharing some stories. He was sharing some stories about herbs and healing with us.
Yeah.
So thank you. This is pretty much it. So yeah, please support a thriving and ecologically sustainable Phoenix Church of Earth. That's my company, and Yatebi Rooted. We are building a future where people, land, and spirit thrive in harmony through holistic wellness, ecological restoration, and conscious community building. We're planting seeds of resilience here in Phoenix and beyond. And your support helps fund regenerative projects that uplift our communities and environment, such as herbal gardens and food forests, educational workshops on natural building and sustainability, community healing gatherings and wellness offerings, youth engagement and land stewardship, local clean water, soil, and native plant restoration efforts. And here are ways to support. And some links here to follow.
Can you go a slide back? Go one slide back, because I want to talk about what I'm seeing in that space. And just where is this location?
Yes. Okay. So here is, this is Rivas, where I was talking about. So this is in the Superstition Mountains. So this was Peter's. It's about 1/4 of an acre of garden space. He lives on his land is about 12 acres. But yeah, this is the garden there, and this is something that has been. This is what 40 years of cultivation can look like.
In a desert, in an area that's known for deserts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all around this environment is prickly pear, all desert plants, and here you see, I believe these might be collard greens. We can just see all the green. There's chickweed growing everywhere here, cabbage.
What I really wanted to get to was the video at Spaces of Opportunity. You can see the overhead of the 20-acre plot that a lot of farmers are growing at, and it is so luscious and green. You all would have seen like the whole.
Do we have time to just show that real quick?
How many minutes?
Just maybe just 30 seconds.
All right,
Yeah,
yeah,
we
man.
could just like kind of fast forward and go through
Could
it.
do it. Yes.
Sure.
So this is it here.
Can you expand it? Because we're just seeing. Okay, good, perfect.
Yeah.
I'm trying to go to some just shots of
Right here. So this is actually a school. They had this land and they actually just let the community use this space to have different farmers come out here and educate and just grow their own food. And so you could get a roll for about $10 a month, and you can grow your own crops and do whatever here. So it's beautiful. They're just different farmers speaking about what's going on in the community.
We definitely want to put the link in the chat so people can go and watch the entire
Yeah.
video.
Yes.
So what's really, for me, really beautiful about, wait, first of all, let me let, Colleen, you had a question? You had your hands up?
Yeah. There seem to be an abundance of water in this area. Where is the water coming from? Is it the municipal water or is it coming from a river? And how do you deal with evaporation or making sure the water doesn't just evaporate? Where's it coming from?
So our water comes from two different sources, the Salt River and the Colorado River. So it's managed by pretty much two companies that that control the water. So specifically at Spaces, it would be the Salt River. And it travels through the canal systems. And similar to what we were showing at Healthy Roots Garden, it's the same system for Spaces as well. And how we combat evaporation, one of the ways is just storing the water. So lots of people have tanks from different sizes, from 500 to 1,500 and more gallon. And then also cover crops are huge. You can see here there's wood chips in the background here. Yeah, and shade is huge. So until your trees get big, set up a shade structure to keep that moisture in.
I think that's one of the things that's beautiful about as you build these systems. When, we always say in Jamaica that, whenever people cut down the land and cut down the trees, then it runs the water, right? And we now understand more about that we really need to have the trees pull the water, that whole evaporative system that happens. And so it's very important. Sometimes I go on some people's lands and they're farming and they cut down everything and they don't understand that no, it's going to cost them more to bring that moisture back, right? Bring that water and that evaporation system that's going on back. So it's again about how do we create not just these monocrop systems, but these very complex systems that you have different layers underground all the way to the story of the trees. And that means you're going to be always kind of getting food. You're going to get food from the trees from multiple levels. So give me a time check. Okay. But you'll be able to, harvest at different levels and you see how it's, the plants want to work together with each other. And that's why really encouraging people to look at these multi-functioning, multi-story, where the plants are giving you medicine, you have some fruit, you have some greens, you have all kinds of stuff, you have barks, you have all that kind of stuff that we need as people. That when this place was designed, you notice that the amount of diversity is in there. And people, they feel like the complexity is a problem, but it isn't. It's really what is saving us. So that making those very complex systems that if something goes down, there's something else that's going to be available for you, right? Kingsley, you had a question? You can unmute.
Hi, yes. Earlier, I had some technical problems. I heard some comments on dragon fruits. I was wondering what the conversation was about. And question about that also, if you guys are growing dragon fruit, Can you tell me how you do it? Because I noticed that most people grow it in containers. I want to know if it can be planted in the earth and then trellis.
Well, I'll start with the conversation. He
Okay.
mentioned dragon fruit, and I was mentioning that there's a bunch of dragon fruit nuts around. The people who are really into dragon fruits, they really are into it. And so it's really been becoming more and more popular. But Miles, you can talk about the dragon fruit that you have there. Or the question.
Well, how it got brought up is I was asking if that was one of your cactus that you guys grow on the island. So I don't grow it personally. The cactus, I would say the most popular cactus fruit here would be prickly pear, which another word for that is nopales, the Spanish word. And of course the saguaro, like what we were talking about. And this one is not native, but Peruvian apple cactus, which is really delicious. And it grows tall, these tall cacti, not as tall as saguaro. And then many separate, what do I call it? Like it sends out many different pups as it grows. And that one is delicious. That one might be most of my favorite.
Yeah, it resembles the dragon fruit on the inside.
Yeah, and taste too.
Okay.
But
We
yeah, I
have,
apologize. We can't offer anything about dragon fruit.
Well, next question, read. So read that particular dragon fruit that not dragon fruit, that cactus that you're talking about. Do they grow them directly in the soil or do they have them like in containers?
Yes.
Yeah, they'll grow them in the soil.
Okay.
Containers too. They do well in containers. It
Yeah.
just depends on your space and what you want to do. Of course, it's going to do a lot better in the ground if it has a space.
Mm-hmm. It does really well out here in the heat.
Okay. All right. Thanks much.
Mm-hmm.
So what what I'm really liking is that, you guys are pretty young guys compared to us, my age. But it's nice to see that you guys have really started to do that work in terms of the farming work, because a lot of young people are just not, they're into technology and that kind of stuff. And I'm always mentioning to people about organic intelligence and that we need to be reconnecting ourselves to that OI, which is, instead of the I to OI, because you're going to be learning so much about the soil and the plants and, just the irrigation, having to try to understand how to irrigate for your particular environment. That's a whole, set of knowledge that you have to kind of figure out because you're living in that space. And then all the other planting deals that come along with it, and the other things about housing and creating community. And what I see happening in the US a lot is that there's a lot of more people moving towards co-ops, and almost every state, I see those kind of cooperative spaces where people are maybe renting a row or they're working cooperatively in terms of farming. We kind of have our own system here where day for day, where we work with each other on, maybe somebody comes over to my land and I help for a day. But this other system is really interesting. And I think maybe for us in the city dwellers, maybe trying to create some more green spaces that we can learn to work more cooperative together in our farming, or even with a city rural situation with farming, because I think it's important for all of us to really start getting back into the soil, start touching the soil, start reconnecting to the soil. And because there's so much to learn there. And I keep saying that we can teach our children through nature, that you can teach math and you can teach science. And obviously we need to learn how to eat properly and not think that food comes from, it's funny, now you crinkle up a bag and you hear that, the kids come running because they think that's food. And really that's not what it's about. So I think it's important for us to it's nice to see that you guys are doing this. and what else is out there, because I'm sure if I quiz everybody, there would be something that they would have learned from your experience or what you've been sharing with us, just to even know a little bit more about that area, and that even in that space that it is a desert, that you've worked out systems that allow you to have this abundance and this lushness, right? We in Jamaica, we're very blessed, right? We are the land of wood and water. We don't have people complain about water, but we don't have a water problem. We have a water management problem where we get lots of water and then we get sometimes not as much water, right? And I think if we could really, in our landscapes, in our homesteads or our farm, is really, really think about what we're doing, how we're managing the water that we get. In the olden days, they used to set up these catchments, and maybe the government or different people switch us off of that to come on the municipal water systems. But that is not reliable, because I can 100% tell you that we're at Source Farm, and luckily we have catchments because we haven't had water coming into the community officially for maybe over 3 weeks now. So we can't depend on the government for water. So I'm saying, one of the reasons I want you to be on is that if you're doing this in Arizona, really in your area where you really are considered deserts, right? I mean, you have that, that's the environment you're living in. And we have all this wonderful wood and water around. We should design systems that are appropriate for our environment, right? Where we can do the catchments, and we should be growing more of our own food, and also working collectively with other folks that are interested. Not everybody is going to be interested, right, at this point in time, but you find other people and you create farming partners with each other that you can work together on, a small plot, and then you take up another, then after you've learned how to, do the basic farming, then you can expand. Don't take up big acreages of land and with the farm. And we had someone who called me the other day, and they're going to do 5 acres of production. And I asked them if they've farmed before, and they hadn't. And I just said, and all I'm telling them, maybe they need to think about that, because start with your backyard, start with the square first, and learn that system, learn that particular crop, learn that plant, create those gills, and not just do this monocropping thing. And I know that person's going to lose them short, but sometimes experience is the best teacher. But we really don't want people to be experimenting in the natural world that much, where they're going to be doing those large acreage of farm and then have all of this soil exposed, right? So we if we know people are trying to do these things, really try to talk about this, right, Kingsley? We do try to talk about doing these things and taking small bites of a time and learning from, learning from the state, but also going to work with other people. Like you went and interned with somebody and learned some systems of how to put some basic things in, and then going out and trying it, right? Because we really do encourage people to go out and start getting their, putting their hands in the soil and learning and making that reconnection to everything that's in their environment. So I just wanted everyone to have that experience and share that with you. I'm going to try and see if I'm going to open it up for questions. Sorry, you had a...
Yeah, can I add something to that? It's a lot of beautiful things here, you said, because we're young, but it's a lot of homeschooling parents here that we bring our kids to work and we have them to farm with us. And so we're trying to change the trajectory of even schooling here and how we school, how you were saying. And then also we're going to people's homes and we're doing like backyard garden beds for them and setting up their irrigation. So it can be something small so they can learn how to grow small instead of on a big overwhelming scale before they get there.
Yeah, I feel that that's something that we need to really do, because I think people do want to, but people get intimidated, especially if they haven't been in it. I know that we have a gentleman that's part of our organic movement, Kermit, and every week at least a couple times a month, I see him offering, and he does offer different courses for folks, for them to come and just learn how to put a seed in a seed tray, how to like start some basic things around their house and, raise beds and that kind of stuff. And it's really important to it's $5,000 Jamaican dollars for that, and he feeds you as well during this workshop, and you get a chance to get reintroduced to the natural world in a way. And I think that we need to do more of that. And we also need more people that are consulting with us, that are consultants. Poor King, I know I've recommended so many people to Kingsley. Kingsley is going to have a full-time job just consulting and not being able to farm. But we need more people to step up to be able to start offering those classes. Like Colleen, I'm calling on you too. You are a demonstration plot in Clarendon. You should be having some, basic classes and inviting people around you to come and share that. And also saw Dean also on the call. He's a demonstration site holder. And you don't have to know everything, but you can just start with one or two things to share, and you'd be amazed at how many people will want to start because you've given them a little bit of a push to get going. And especially now with things that are going on, we really do want to know where our food is coming from. So I'm going to open it up. People have some questions? Any more questions or comments about what we've been talking about today? Looking for some comments.
Well, of course, I'd love to make a comment. Alicia in Brooklyn.
Hi, Alicia.
I made it. Well, I'm
Excellent.
happy to be here. I'm grateful for this forum, for what you are sharing with the world and sharing with each other. When you talked about working with the children and, teaching them that we're on the same trajectory. Right. So the jobs that I take, joining others' businesses, is simply so that I can get those pieces of paper everybody wants in order to move forward and learn and meet new people and be in the community and understand, the way things work, so that as we creating what we have to do, we understand the AI, right? As we're creating the OI. That's what I had to say. Thank you.
All right, and thank you for doing it. We have to have you on so you can share the work that you're doing there in New York. I see Dr. Clark. I see that you popped in for a hot second. Where are you? You want to mute and come back? Saw your hands up there for a minute. Did you drop off?
I think I raised my hand by accident.
Okay. Well, it's good to see you. Dr. Clark is from Tuskegee. She is also doing a lot of farming work and doing some projects on hemp. So there's a lot of people out there doing things. And so it's really great to have all of us kind of come together. We're kind of nerding out on the plants, right? And the other thing too that you mentioned is about the medicines, right? We need to know where our medicines are coming from, and we need to know that we can make our medicine. They've kind of scared us into things that everything we have to go to the pharmacy, and I would say not the real pharmacy, right? The pharmacy is our gardens, right? But going to that other very sterile space and getting things for us. And I'm not saying that there's not some good things there, but we have to also understand that, food is medicine, and we need to learn more of that, and that we can actually make our medicine. So we have been doing a little bit of that this year. Okay. Well, last year and this year, we're making some tinctures and making some more medicines for us, because there's a lot of abundance, a lot of plants out there that we think is weeds. We're taking those plants and making medicine out of them because they pop up. Whatever's going on in your system, I've found that there's a plant that will pop up in your garden for you. Right, you just have to know what they are, and then do that research, and that always happens. If something's going on with your body, the plant kingdom is like, "Hey, look over here! I got this for you." And so, when you see something, do not just rip it up. And anything that you want to take out, you better know what you're taking out. Right? Make sure you know what you're taking out of the. If you're weeding something, what is this thing I'm calling a weed? And do the research. You have all these apps now that you can look at the plant, do the research. Everything that is around you is there for a reason. So what is it, and learn about it, and then see if it's something that you can harvest, you can dry it, you can make a tincture, you can make a tea, that kind of stuff, because it's there for a reason. It didn't just pop up just because it wanted to. There's a reason for that. So we have to learn that reason. So they keep giving me a time check. So I wanted to, any more questions for you? For a wonderful guest? I know that we've been working on you coming here and doing some, work with us as well. So we look forward to when that happens, maybe 2026. And if anything, we'll have a little gathering. So you'd have had about 24, 25 people that you've been introduced to online. And so we'll definitely get together and we'll cook some food and go, and do some planting while you're here. So I really want to thank you for the time. I'm happy that you were able to, you didn't get a chance to present at Farming is a Business, but we are very, very grateful that you're able to come and share what you're doing. And now we know a little bit more about your area. And I think it's so important for us to make these connections because now whoever's on the call will have a better understanding of what it is that is possible in your area and make those connections, because we all are connected, right? And I think it's nice to be able to see what somebody else is doing, because you never know that inspiration of that irrigation system. How was that done? The videos that you've shown us and that we're gonna continue to watch, those are all things that are very much part of our enlarging ecosystem, because we're all connected. They just drop us off in different places, and now it's like the families are coming back together, and so it's really beautiful to make those connections again. So I do thank you. I want to, before we leave, we have a couple more minutes before they rush me off. We want to talk about Organic October. I think if you could stop sharing for a minute so I can bring up the Organic October so I can run through the list of things that's happening. So I know that we're going to be JOAM, Jamaica Organic Agriculture Movement. We are definitely major partners with them with the work that we do. We have the Genesis Project, which is, for those of you who may not have heard, is a soil fertility project that we do across the island. And we have 11 different strategies that we're sharing about how do we, improve our soil quality, because we've been doing a lot of extractive farming here in Jamaica from them slavery days, right? With all that sugar cane and all those other crops that we just been putting in and not taking care of our soils, and then, putting a lot of, toxic stuff on it. So we're here to talk about regeneration of the soil. And so we threw about 11 different strategies at folks and showing them how they can improve their soil quality and how, to replace some of those harmful things that they've been doing. And just kind of do a little re-education. So that's been going on for a bit. And we are now on the western side of the island. We have this month is also actually Water Management Month. So I'm really happy that you talked about that. So we're going to be looking at water management from kind of like a regenerative permaculture lens, right? And so, we can, we have RADA that will come in and you ask them to help you and they'll say, yeah, man, they come and they will show you how to put a drip in system in, how you do a pond. But before you do that, do you understand what happens? Have you spent time in the rain looking in your field, like what happens when it rains? Even around your house, like what happens when it rains in your yard? Where is it, where is it pooling? Where is it doing that? Where is it catching? All of those kind of things. Really taking a look at that first before you go and design a system. Because each of us have some unique ecosystems that we're working in and living in. And so if you don't do that observation first, you could spend a lot of money on things that don't really make sense, right? So, I'm going to put a tank here, or I'm going to go farming and there's no water around. I've had that a couple of times. I'm like, where are you getting the water from? I don't know. Well, how are you going to farm? Because that's one of the main ingredients of farming. So those kind of things, making sure that how do you keep the water on your land, right? There's a lot of that. People think, okay, if I have too much water, I want it off. But maybe you need to store it for when there isn't any water. So we want to kind of look at when water comes onto your land, not just rain, but maybe it's from a river, maybe it's from some other kind of catchments, maybe there's a dam and something overflows. What is going on in that space, and having that conversation. So we are going to be in Trelawney, October 23rd at A&R Farms. The information, the flyer is there. We do actually turn up. We will be working with the instructor is going to be Rajay Malcolm, and Rajay he's very kind of famous in Jamaica for being an advocate of Jamaicans for justice, and he made a pivot in his life. And yes, he's really working with the environment and seeing how that we can really understand and do a deeper dive in terms of how do we live more regeneratively and more sustainably in our space. And so he is going to be coming to both of these locations and having that conversation with you about water. And so that's Trelawney and Clarendon. You've heard Colleen Tennant ask some questions. That's who that is. She's, at C&J Gardens. She is in Clarendon, and we'll be hosting that water class there. So for those of you in different parishes, guess what? We're going to bust on them, right? So whatever the western side parishes, if you're in Hanover, if you're in St. James, if you're in St. Elizabeth, we've arranged the buses for you to come on that bus. You come over to the various locations where the closest one is to you, and we're going to have that course. So you can't say we can't drive or whatever, we can't get there, because we've totally organized that for you. And West Canada has been gracious enough to serve lunch for us. So there will be lunch as well. So you have to register because there's limited spaces on the buses. So we want to make sure that we know, and if you're going to register, please show up. Don't take the seat for somebody and not show up. So if you're not going to show up, call us and let us know about that. So back to Organic October, we have some other activities. We're going to be at University of West Indies on the 16th. We'll be showing that movie Organic Rising. Very important film for us in Jamaica to really look at what we're doing and the kind of the history of how we got to this dysfunction. So it's very important for you to come out. If you have an opportunity to come and meet and mingle with us at University of West Indies, please do come over and so we can have that conversation. It's a documentary film, and we'll be screening it and having a discussion about it. It's the last place we showed it was in Trelawney, and we had to like beg the people not to go march down to the government houses and to beat up Ministry of Agriculture too much. And so it was very much a good conversation about that. What can we do? Because if you're not aware of what's happening, you can't really make the changes that you need to change, even within your own household and the work and your farming practices, if you don't understand. So we're going to be showing that screening and having a conversation about that at UE. It is a free event. We ask you to come and join us. The other thing that we're going to be meeting up at the farmers market, and Joan will be having an event in the farmers market. We're going to give you that date in a hot second. And we have a Joan meeting on, I think it's on the 2nd, if I'm not mistaken, where we'll be just hearing from all the Joan members that are around. And we're going to bring up that flyer in a hot second and make sure I give you the right dates. So throughout the month, you're going to be seeing these opportunities coming through. So it's a way for us to connect, because sometimes you're out there and you feel like you're in a silo and you're just it's just me, one feels some way. But just know that there's a lot of other people feel the same way that you do, and we worry about our food security. We want to meet other people who are doing the similar work, so you can have those conversations, because you can't really farm too much in a silo. You really need, just like the plants need our companions, we need our companions, and who is doing this kind of work as well, so we can chit chat and talk to each other and find out how you did this and how you did that. So great, the flyer is up. So you see that we have the podcast. We're going to be doing every Sunday. Again, we'll be having a number of other people on that were at the Farming as a Business. I think we have Dr. Reed. He is from UE. He talked about he did the PCA, pesticide control study. So you want to talk to him. And when you talk to him and him tell you what's been going on, you guys are going to be mad, because you talk about the fish and how many pesticides are in the fish that are around the island. Not good, but he'll give you all the data around that. And then we have a number of other people that will be on and we're going to put that flyer out. We have a members meeting, we have the screening, we have the meetup at the farmers market. We do want you to come out and, hang with us for the day. And then we have the water management course, and we have another meetup that we'll be having at various demonstration sites around the island. So you can't say that we're not doing things, we are doing things around the island. And then we also have a cover crop webinar coming up in November. So we want you guys to know that's coming up as well. What's happening at Source? We have on Heroes Day, we're going to be showing Marcus Garvey, the movie, and one of our local actors, writers and actors was in that movie, was actually portraying Marcus Garvey. We're going to be showing that for Heroes Day. So if you have time and you'd like to come out and spend some time with us at Source, we are going to be there screening that movie and have a conversation with him about his interaction in the film, but just in terms of, Garvey is a national hero. We have Paul Bogle and George William Gordon that's really from this parish as well, having that larger conversation about the legacy that they left for us. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that we have missed. I don't think so. Oh, Ujima. What? How am I going to forget Ujima, the farmers market and the fundraiser? Listen, people. I don't know if I may have said it last week, that the St. Thomas, Ujima farmers, we got $80 million from JSF for a project that we were, St. Thomas kind of get left behind. And they decided to bless us up with some funds after all of these many decades, right? For us to really do some improvement, and especially around organic farming. And so while they gave us 80 million, them take out a whole, because this money was from 2019, from before COVID, right? And of course, COVID come and inflation, all the tariffs and all the stuff, the money not going to spend the way it's supposed to spend. So they've taken a lot of things out of the project, and we have to put those things back in. So we are actually going on an initiative that we want every Jamaican, everybody who loves Jamaica, to put in some money, even if it's $1. Buy us a cup of coffee, right? Eat whatever it is, buy us something. So if we're saying that, I think we sometimes spend money in a kind of way. And even us in Jamaicans, we tend not to want to sometimes support our own projects. And I'm saying that really, we should not be looking for anybody else except for Jamaicans to support this, because it's about food security. It's about creating clean food. And so with that initiative, we're wanting to raise, and we're going global. So we're going to New York, we're going all throughout the US to do this fundraising. We're going to Canada, we're going to Japan, we're going to Netherlands. We want everybody that is, Jamaicans are every kind of weird, and everybody kind of love Jamaicans. We don't want to just hear about, oh, we love the reggae. We want also, and we love that word ITIL, but we want to really now manifest that work with the farmers that are doing the good work, right? And Ujima is the only place on the island that pretty much, if you're sick and you need some clean food, that's where you can come to. So in order for us to continue to do the work that we're doing, we need that support. So I'm asking for the help on that, and we're going to be doing some more fundraising. So if anybody wants, I was collecting $100 from everybody missing. So I'm hitting everybody up with that. So I expect you guys to really support that work that we're doing, because you will be using the food and the many beautiful products. Sometimes we're importing things that are into the island, but we have better quality products that are here, and we want to support our farmers and help them out, because there is issues in terms of maybe getting the beginning supplies of starting their farm, that kind of stuff, and also helping some young farmers to get the infrastructure that they need. So we're going to be doing more of that and more fundraising around that. So just make sure you leave me a message. So I can call, or don't make me run you down, because I will run you down. I want that money from you, right? So hardcore shakedown. I have no problem in saying that I'm shaking you all down for it. So yes, we're going to be doing that work. And we're going to put up the link for you so that you can, it's the GoFundMe thing is actually GoFund Us, but it's a GoFundMe platform. So if you're in the US or if you're in Jamaica, at the farmers market, we have a little drop box for you to put that money in. I really don't just sing down and we just a talk lip service, because I'm asking everybody to put something in the pot, because one cocoa full basket. And I'm tired of us trying to get some other people out there to support the work that we do in the island. It has to happen from within. And it's really important for us to put our money where our mouth is and stop saying them people, and know it's them people is us people. So if you want the thing to grow and have more food security and more things, you have to, this is the work that is where we are right now. So I'm going to really, and just call me. Most of you will have my contact. Tell me where I have to come and go pick up my money from you, or where I need to meet you to pick up the money. We're not playing. So we're gonna just let me know, so I can make sure that we get this work done. And within that, there are a bunch of projects that we're going to be using the funds for, not just the farmers, but different other initiatives with the infirmary and with the school, giving children healthy food. Instead of that bulla business, we're going to be making some beautiful products for them as well. And also inviting you all to join, what is the thing called? CSA. And that is something that I'm going to be doing some talking about, the CSA. Do you guys have CSAs there, Myles? Do you do the CSA model? Right. So we're gonna
actually worked for a farm, and I created their CSA boxes. So it was a beautiful thing to do.
So really quick, I know them rushing me off, but explain to our people CSAs, because sometimes we are here and they don't know that this is a worldwide movement and a really great way to support the farmers. So explain to me what you did.
Yeah, so the organization I was working for, it was a nonprofit, and so we were trying to find other ways to bring in money into the cohorts. So pretty much what it is we get our food that we grow and we put them in boxes, and then we would deliver them to the families that would want the CSA boxes. But what I also did was I put recipe cards in the boxes so they can have something more, so they can say, oh, I'm not just only getting all this produce, because we were hearing, like feedback of, I don't know if it was the produce. And I'm like, let me put, the recipe cards. But it pretty much just gets out to the community, and then they're able to come to the farm and help us, really manage the farm as well as volunteers.
It's all seasonal too, so
Mhm,
whoever's
everything is
getting
seasonal.
the CSA, it's all seasonal stuff. So I think it's one of the best ways to eat.
Right, it's beautiful, and we need to get to that, because I think people in the past in Jamaica is just like you grow, and then you're kind of waiting for your money to come in, and the farmer has taken all the risk often, and then it's not even about the risk, because the farmer has all of that on them, and they're also stressed. So that's why a lot of people go out of farming, because they cannot take the crop all the way through. And I think if we do the CSA, we'll be able to give the farmers, their start to be able to say, all right, you're going to grow this particular crop, and you have the resources to get the seeds. And, if you have to buy some, compost or whatever it is that you have to do to make that crop, we're not supporting any chemicals, something. There are or organic things that you can purchase to help that crop along. So whatever it is that farmer needs to make sure, it also could be labor. They need somebody to help them weed something, and to help them to make sure that happens. So really important, that CSA model. It started in Japan, and it's spread all over the world. And that's why I think a lot of farms now these days are surviving, because they have that CSA model. That means you prepay ahead of time. You're now in business with the farmer. So you prepay and you get the crop during the time. And for Jamaicans, let me tell you something. You're going to see the price of food go up so much. You're going to wish. And I think one of the things that we will be doing, I know one of the things we'll be doing is having a CSA. And I'm going to start talking about that in the next couple of weeks, because you're going to want to lock in the price. And that's what's beautiful about it. You lock in that price, and you know that whatever that you pay for that CSA box, that's what you're going to get throughout that particular season. Or if it's a 4 months, 6 months, whatever that season is, you're going to be locked that in. It's going to be very important, because penny wise and pound foolish. You don't want to support the farmer, but then you're going to pay, a lot more money for it later on when the price hike. If you know your farmer, the best thing to do is know a farmer, because if you know a farmer, you're friends with a farmer, you're helping the farmer. If something go down, the farmer is going to say, "Oh yeah, man, no man, we have you." But if you don't, then you're out there just trying to scramble like everybody else. And I think it's going to be more and more important as you see what's going on. I know that you guys in the US having a lot of issues with ICE taking away the people who are harvesting. I hear there's a lot of food still left in the field, and they're going to be, you don't have that problem because you've made those connections, but other people who are not so connected will have that problem, because the food prices are going to go up. So we want to make sure that we start to look at these systems and start to get more connected.
Start going
Okay.
up already, Nicole.
Pardon me?
Prices are going up already.
Yeah.
I was in the supermarket yesterday, and it's $250 a pound for some ugly looking tomatoes.
Yep. So Kingsley, we're going to be doing this CSA business. Enough of this. I've been saying it for the last 2 years, and I haven't done it. But I think now people are going to really start feeling it. And I think that we have to we know that we know that we know, and we just need to just do it. So we will, maybe within this next month, we'll have that conversation about CSA and really dial in the details, and let us start spreading it. So people are showing up here. You want to know where your food's coming from. You want to know your farmer. You want to know that no matter what happens, we're going to be working for you to make sure that you have clean, healthy food and medicines, right? And tinctures and all kinds of really beautiful products as well, that you know who made them, versus you have no idea what crap they put in it and they're selling it to you. So my production team, my Love the Production team, which is Michelle Geister, Rashana, Our Peace Corps volunteer has been so wonderful and helpful for us. And Nahala Shirley, they're a production team, them a run me off of this something and them say, okay, Nicola, you talk too much, come off. And let the people go eat their Sunday dinner. So I am going to be leaving you today. I will see you guys next week, same time, same place, with another wonderful guest sharing a lot of wisdom and knowledge with you. So have a blessed week. Rest of the evening and just a wonderful week. And I want one person to just come on with a word. Just unmute and just give us one word that we can take for us through the week. One positive word.
One another in.
But what did you say? Wade?
One another in. Being there for one another.
Oh, I love it. I love one another. Jamaican can make up some words. Say it one more time.
One another in.
One another in. Yo, I'm gonna hear this a lot. One another in. I hope you didn't trademark that because I'm gonna have to use it, just so you know. So I'm really grateful for y'all showing up, and Myles and Keosha. Am I saying your name Keosha? Am I saying it correctly? Thank you so much for joining.
It's Keosha.
Keosha. Okay, Keosha. Sorry.
Keosha. And Myles
And,
has something to say.
Myles, yes, Myles.
Yeah. I just want to say you have all the money that you need.
Mhm.
It's just in other people's pockets.
Yeah, don't worry, I'm shaking them down.
We hear you.
It will be in our pockets, not just in my pocket, but in all our pockets. So it's all there. We
Yeah.
just need to put it
It's
together.
all there.
It's all there. It's always been always there. All right. Peace and blessings, everybody. Have a great night and a wonderful week. Much peace.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.